Hello, friends. Motivational strategies and changing trends. Under this podcast series, this is next episode. Motivational strategies to continuous engagement via short stories, anecdotes, quotes, and motivational points which we'll discuss continuously. This episode is about that. I will explain certain stories which are motivational and you will like it. Let's start. Generally, I try to go into from ancient history till current. Today, we will go the current era or current generation. There's so many motivational examples are there. We will go over that. I will take you around 50 years back. Company General Electric, a historical company, almost 100 years old, but it was like reeling down. It was in the bottom part, and nobody really know what to do. One guy came in. Yes, we know that. The great Jack Welch, straight from the guts. We have read his autobiography. He took over, which organization was like reeling in the bottom, straight from the guts. He implemented several tactics, several management techniques, including the community practices, improvement in the uh, improvement in the quality using the statistical tools like Six Sigma, which was very new at that time. He implemented that. He did lots of broad and bold management decisions. We are not going into each and everything. What was the result? Something was reeling at the bottom, came to the first fire within 20 years. G was a conglomerate. There are many subdivisions. It was not at all easy to handle, but straight from the guts, that was the most important motivational thing. He implemented more or less the techniques, which really was not really like a brainstormed or something. They came straight from the guts. He really saw the pulse of the consumers. He improved the supply chain. He improved the community practices, which was probably uh, very new or very advanced what he did at that time. And the entire organization, the conglomerate, comes in the top. The Six Sigma, which was introduced by uh, like scientific purposes, but he implemented that as a quality tool and he greatly enhanced it. And uh, that had changed the entire perspective. Within 20 years, that which was reeling like in the bottom came to the top. That's the difference. I'm going to tell the difference like what happened after 20 years, like 1980 to 2000, G come to the top. What happens after 20 years? Exact reverse happened. I mean, that's not anybody's fault, or we are not telling that, but the personal difference, what I'm talking about. So, certain times the motivational decisions or uh, certain management practices which were implemented can make such a great difference. Within 20 years, which came to the like the graph was like this. and probably the graph reversed after that. After his successor, they that didn't done the same way, various reasons. But that's the great motivational example what I wanted to tell. And especially it was straight from the guts, so we can really read that autobiography. I had read only, not read full, but we should read that, and it's a very motivational. And one person also can change the entire conglomerate with the great decision making. So that's the motivation example I wanted to discuss. Okay, let's go to the next one. This example is like a motivational story, short story. I have read it probably some time back. So this story is about an outlet. So it's not a big thing. So I'm talking about a small outlet, and it was like a burger outlet, and it was on the truckers joint, what you can call. So it is away from the city, and it will be only motor cars, and then truckers will be there. Competition was very heavy. There will be the named chains, but this was the burger joint which was totally new. But they achieved uh, through great sales, they become the number one in that area within very short time span. So that was the motivation story I'm trying to tell you. They even received the quality awards for the best burger produced in that area. The technique used by the CEO were very innovative. So they were investing into the manpower. As I told you, the joint was pretty far. It was on the like a trucker's joint, and so people has to come there, and which was the difficult thing. So he invested in such a way that, and he gave them very good training, so that he reduced the cycle time of order given and then the burger is produced. So when the trucker comes or motor car comes, it was they were serving very fast uh, compared to the other places in that area, and that's why their sales was going up. They received the JD Edwards Quality Award, so the quality was also extremely well. So when the CEO was interviewed on the local channel, the interviewer asked him a question. She said, like, I understood what you did and such a great thing. But she added, she asked, don't you feel like you are giving so much training to the employees? And what if they leave? The answer is very important. So I just wanted to highlight it. The CEO said, Madam, I always thought, what if they stay? I did not thought, what if they leave? I was always thinking, what if they stay? And that was the difference. And the great stories comes from there. So this is the great motivational example. Sometimes we may have to invest in certain things, and if our vision and goals are perfect and correct, things works. There are nothing right or wrong formula is there. uh, it, it was a small scale thing, so we are not comparing anything else, but it was such a great motivational answer what I wanted to discuss. What if they stay? Because that was the difference. That was the difference in the attitude of the that was the difference in attitude which was making the thing different, and that was the really motivational thing. All right, let's move further. When the internet era started, like the start of this uh, century or the last decade of the century, so many startups started coming in. Before that, it was like generally a bigger companies, and bigger companies and bigger conglomerates were there. But in the last decade, we saw more even startups started coming in. So that's the well famous example I wanted to discuss. Jeff Bezos, he started a company in the uh, like 1990s. At that time, internet was just coming in. But how many people had internet really? People were just learning to get the email, and he was trying to open an internet stores. Not only that, he was trying to sell the books on the internet. Now, are you going to say, isn't it the Borders is there or the Barnes and Nobles is there? What about them? And he was like his go down was the his bookstore, and then he used to take the orders on internet and delivering through his truck. And people will say, where I will have my coffee, because where I will sit. People were not used to order anything and forget about books, because people generally need to see them, they see the catalog, then they have to browse, then only they make the decision. But he took that bold decision, and we know he put some investment behind that as well, which was very bold considering at that time. The result we see now, how much folded, multiple folded the investment is. That's a great motivational thing. So if you certain times, if you believe something and if you know something, no matter what, you continue on your goal, you continue on your path, continue do your progress. You criticism will be there. I already told you, if I was his critic at that time, let just I am thinking I am a critic of Jeff Bezos. Then how I would have told in 1990s to him, I understand your business concept. Can I advise you something? Instead of taking internet orders and giving to consumers, why don't you become a carrier to the Borders and Barnes and Nobles? I would correct your idea. Who is going to give the orders on internet? Who knows internet? How many people has personal computer? Isn't it? I mean, they would have bashed his idea if at that time. But and I'm pretty sure he gone through the entire cycle. He must have seen his ups and downs, and he would have definitely met those critics, but he continued. The focus continued, and through ups and downs, we see what we see today. That's such a great motivational example. Because after 2000, probably the internet bubble, so many startups started on the selling on the internet, but that was just 8 years before, 7 to 8 years before, and that changed so much as we see today. Considering the same examples, uh, Facebook, the idea was very uh, social networking. The idea was simple. We used to do that time. There was like a pen pal or some kind of thing. We used to be there, which used to be like a physically sending, connecting, and even before Facebook, there are some certain things were there which used to be done as a through Messenger or something. That kind of social networking was there. But the idea of creating the like developing entire thing in his dorm, that was such a motivational thing. It takes lots of uh, perseveration and focus, courage. You need to have the goals, because the success is not guaranteed under such things, and uh, your focus and persistence is very important. So that's the success story. Next, my great example, I always admire Elon Musk. In the same internet time, probably 5 years after Jeff Bezos, he entered in and he did something he was a student and he did a PayPal software, and then he got some very good sale of that. What somebody would have done in that situation? Wow, quick millionaire. I mean, his entire life, he doesn't have to think anything like that kind of sale was he achieved in the first. What Elon did, he invested into all kind of startups which were extremely risky. He invested in Tesla. That was the electric car company, which at that time would have been a very risky investment, as I can understand. Then he was investing in the SpaceX. He was trying to buy the missiles which were like a old cold era age discarded missiles he was buying, and then the idea was uh, for the international space station they need the cargo other than NASA, because NASA will be busy in doing something, so many other things, and for just for a carrier they wanted the uh, private hand to do that. So who should have been the contender? Main contender should have been Boeing, Airbus, or Virgin Atlantic, because those guys were more interested, or they were in the space, or they were in the aviation. But who got the deal? Elon Musk, who did not have any aviation experience of uh, at that time, as we can understand. And it was not even aviation; we have to go to the space. He has to woo the investor. I mean, they should buy his idea that okay, we can put the holding in his startup. That much confidence needs to be there. He did all these things as we see, and the focus was not exactly uh, on the wealth building, as we can see. Such a great ideas. Those were such a foundational ideas. SpaceX, like sending 1,000 satellites, that's the reality. That's what the age we want. The satellites, that because that idea will be enhanced further. We want the because those enhance not only for communication, now for power, like we see the energy can be transmitted, they are using the space, and apart from that we can send the any kind of payload in the as we want. That was the great thing. Earlier they used to send only the geostationary satellites only from certain places. Now we see the it's a it's so much an advancement happen. And if you just go through like a semi-government organization like NASA, because they may have their own priorities, it would have been very difficult. The private hand came in, that change. But when private hand comes in, the investors or market needs to believe in, and uh, the confidence needs to be created. That was the great thing. That's the motivational thing what we are talking about. So every little startup that might have failed. I mean, I'm totally understand. Like, is that boring of the underground thing that didn't went well. He was whatever he was trying to do to solve the traffic problems, or some other ideas might not have gone well. Even Tesla comes out to be a holding, and now they will go to hydrogen, which probably looks like that. But the idea was very important, like transforming from the fossil fuel into the electric and to the hydrogen. So probably that's the most cleanest energy. And if we are electric, then electricity can be produced by more renewable sources, um, through plasma, quantum, whatever we are hearing now. Though that was very essential, like transforming from fossil to the other option, because we know all the Exxon and everybody has heavily invested into the petrochemicals. And we can tell you, it's not like chemicals may not be finishing, like, because we have not even explored the Greenland, Antarctica, and ocean floor. So it is still fossil fuels may be there. We can still find it, but the focus change was important. That way, the technology and advancement happened, and the initiative was taken was very important, because now the market is getting more focused on the new energy sources, those kind of things. So if you look at Elon Musk, you will see several things. I mean, to be, if you want to see in today's area, living somebody, and you want to take some motivation, I would suggest his name. Elon Musk is the great man, I can tell you. Forget about his all other things or failed ventures or anything. We are looking at the ideas the fundamental ideas, because those were the groundbreaking. Those were the things which were required. He did everything into the newer areas, which is what we can see will be enhanced further. So that's the greatest example in today's era. If I have to give them from my side, that's the one. So everybody should look at it. And he was not like a heir to like a Sam Walton, or there was nothing he inherited or something. That everything what we see was the sheer great ideas. Everything was the new ventures, and if you see, those could have been very risky if you go at that point in time. Uh, Tesla was very new, and he was putting uh, the thing in that could have been turned very risky, because uh, the electric market could have been gone anyway. SpaceX, it could have fallen down very badly as well, because he was very new and even supported by investors. Still, that could have been risky ventures in terms of from market side, market point of view. But that was such a great thing, and um, the attitude. He was not thinking what it failed. He was thinking how it, if it is worked. I want to give his quotes at the his first launch. So Falcon Heavy was launched, and they were going to do a straight like a live telecast of that when Falcon Heavy was going to be launched, and he used his own car for that. I mean, he even didn't use the factory new car. He sent his own car to the space. Uh, but that's not the story I want to tell you. At the time Falcon Heavy was getting launched, Elon Musk said one thing: we are going to watch a spectacular thing today. Either way, you got it what I'm saying? We are going to watch a spectacular scene today. Either way. So he is aware, because rockets are launching, things happens either way. But look at the optimism. He said, I will show you spectacularly that never seen before. That's the optimism. He was ready for that. I mean, because that's the risk entrepreneur is taking. If the spectacular thing would have happened other way, means it would have been big negative backlash. We can understand how the SpaceX might have gone further after that. So person is taking that kind of calculated risk, and we know he's a all other things. I mean, I'm not even discussing it. Like these are the things for a motivational perspective we need to look at. We are going to watch a spectacular thing either way. So that's the optimism of an entrepreneur. He's kind of putting his bet on something which is going to change the humanity or the direction or the way we are looking at the space after that. And the same thing happened. After that, it's such a, it becomes like a, we don't even care now how many satellites goes up and down. Because it becomes so, it's become like a plane industry now, like aeroplanes are going up, and that kind of thing is happening with uh, your uh, spacecraft. Now they want to even get the in space, in the instead of international space center, they are trying to put something privately owned, which will be very great and new beginning. I wanted to call, because not many people know why International Space Center and what they do there. They may be doing lots of scientific experiments, which can be done, are very, I mean, they are required to be done in the zero gravity. So, like certain kind of experiments which you cannot do on the ground, or they may not be that fruitful on the ground. Those are done there, apart from watching the sky and then stars and everything, whatever they do. So those kind of thing is very important. The DNA studies or the medical science which is progressing, those are groundbreaking experimentation happening. We have to give the credit to several places, including that as well. I think we studied some motivational examples today, and they were not ancient, they were now. I I like to give ancient examples. The reason being, I try to compare even that time certain principles or concepts were there, they are applicable now, and they were so eternal. That's what I wanted to give the example. So that's why I start from very long time back in time till now. These are the examples like I put it. So all they are all new, and there are many. Whatever I'm telling, those are not the only ones. In every area you go, you will see those motivational examples. Wherever you go, if there is a peak, you can climb it. It's not necessary you have to climb only Mount Everest or Mount Kilimanjaro. It's not like that. Every hill has a summit which needs to be conquered, and it will give you immense satisfaction by that. It's not necessary you will get immense satisfaction when you go to the Mount Everest. Absolutely, yes. I mean, that will be the greatest. But even you conquer the summit of your any hill, that also is a very great thing, because you know you have to climb, and then whatever you go through, that's very, very motivational. So even something is at a small level, we don't have to be discouraged. Small steps will go further. So that was the today's episode. I think you will like it. Please let me know your comments, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.